Look around you. The neighbor with the brand new car on the drive, the mate posting holiday photos from Dubai, the couple down the road with the extension, the hot tub, the designer dog, and you're standing there thinking, how? How are they affording this? You earn a decent wage, you budget, you check prices in the supermarket, and somehow everyone around you seems to be living a life you can't touch. Well, here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of them aren't affording it. They're renting it. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how the fake rich trap works, why it's about to get harder to hide, and how to make sure you're never the one caught in it. Let's start with the number that gives the game away. The median full-time salary in this country is around £39,000. That's the middle. Half of all full-time workers earn less than that. Now, do the maths on what you see. A £40,000 car, 3 holidays a year, a kitchen renovation, private number plates, on 39 grand before tax. It doesn't add up. It was never supposed to add up because the lifestyle you're comparing yourself to isn't paid for, it's borrowed. Now, if you've ever looked at other people's lives and quietly wondered whether you're falling behind, subscribe. I make this simple every day. Right, let's open the books. The average UK household is now carrying around £18,400 of debt before you even mention the mortgage. That figure has doubled in 10 years. Doubled. Strip out student loans and it's still over £8,000 per household in credit cards and personal loans alone. And across the country, we're on track to pay over £19 billion in credit card interest this year. That works out at roughly £340 per adult. Not repaying debt, just the interest. The cost of standing still. And here's the part nobody posts about. That interest buys nothing. No car, no holiday, no kitchen. It's the price of having already spent money you didn't have. £19 billion a year nationally for the privilege of looking sorted. Now let's talk about the drive. That gleaming new car outside the neighbor's house. Around 90% of new cars in this country are bought on finance, most of it PCP. The total car finance debt pile is nearly £40 billion. Here's what that means in plain English. The car isn't theirs. They're paying a monthly subscription to look like the kind of person who owns that car. When the deal ends, they hand it back or roll straight into another one. The car changes. The payment never stops. You're not looking at wealth. You're looking at a standing order. Then there's the phone in their hand. Buy now, pay later. In 2017, it was a £60 million niche. By 2024, it was over £13 billion of lending used by roughly 1 in 5 UK adults, nearly 11 million people. Klarna at the checkout, ClearPay on the trainers, 4 easy payments on a dress worn once for the photos. It felt like magic money because until this very week, it wasn't even regulated as credit. Nobody was properly checking whether people could afford it. It didn't show up the way a loan does, which meant you could stack it. 5 providers, 10 agreements, a wardrobe on drip, and the photos on Instagram never show the payment schedule. And that word, Instagram, is doing a lot of work here because the fake rich trap has an engine, and the engine is comparison. Among 18 to 24-year-olds, only 1 in 5 say they feel no pressure to present a certain lifestyle or image. Read that again. 4 out of 5 young adults feel pressure to look like they're doing better than they are. Nearly half of social media users admit to impulse buying something they saw online. Nearly a third of people have fallen into actual financial difficulty from overspending triggered by ads and sponsored posts. And last Christmas, 3/4 of UK families used credit cards or buy now, pay later to cover it. And on average, they didn't clear that festive debt until mid-April. The turkey was paid off around Easter. So here's the picture. Millions of people earning ordinary money, performing extraordinary lifestyles, funded by a spider's web of car payments, card balances, and split payment apps. The FCA reckons around 8.9 million adults in this country are in serious financial difficulty. Missed bills, late payments, the lot. And around 11.5 million adults have no savings at all. Nothing. Not 100 quid. But scroll their feeds and you'd never know. That's the trap. The people who look richest are often the closest to the edge. Real wealth is invisible. It's the boring stuff. The pension, the ISA, the emergency fund. Fake wealth is loud. It has to be. The whole point of it is being seen. But something changed this week, and it's why I'm making this video now. From the 15th of July 2026, today, buy now, pay later is finally regulated by the FCA full consumer credit rules. Lenders now have to run affordability checks on every single purchase, even under £50. Miss a payment and they have to tell you immediately and point you to free debt advice. Purchases over £100 get Section 75 protection, the same as a credit card. And if things go wrong, you can take it to the financial ombudsman. On paper, that's good news. In practice, it means the tap is tightening. One estimate suggests the stricter checks could shut out 10 to 30% of current users altogether. Think about what that means. A chunk of the fake rich are about to lose access to the very credit propping up the performance. The costume is being repossessed. And that's before you count the interest, because debt in this country now sits at around 117% of household income. For every pound coming in, £1.17 is owed. When your lifestyle runs on borrowed money, you don't just pay for the lifestyle, you pay rent on it forever at credit card rates north of 20%. The neighbour's car costs them the payment, plus the interest, plus the next car, plus the anxiety at 3 in the morning. You just can't see that part from the driveway. So how do you stay out of the trap? 3 rules. Rule 1. If you can't buy it twice, you can't afford it once. And if it needs 4 installments, that's your answer. Because a payment plan isn't affordability, it's just the price, chopped up small enough to stop you flinching. Rule 2. Never compare your bank balance to someone else's show reel. You're comparing your behind the scenes to their highlight reel, and the highlight reel is financed. Rule 3. Aim to be invisibly rich. Boring savings, boring pension, boring paid off car with a scratch on the bumper. Nobody will post about it. Nobody will envy it. And in 10 years, you'll own everything you have, while the fake rich are still making payments on things they handed back years ago. Here's the final thought. Next time you're stood at the window asking how the neighbours are affording it, remember the honest answer. On the median wage in this country, most of them simply aren't. The car is a standing order. The holiday is on a card until Easter. The kitchen is a loan. You weren't falling behind. You were just the only one paying with real money. And from today, with the rules finally changing, real money is quietly becoming the biggest flex there is. If you learned something from this video, hit that subscribe button. I'll see you in the next one.